Welcome to And I Like Large Parties. Join me as I chat with amazing women business owners in the events industry, some that I've worked with and some that I can't wait to work with. We'll be sipping cocktails while discussing their passions, hurdles, and accomplishments. You're going to love it. Thanks for listening. I'm sitting down today with Heather Nunery. She is the owner of multiple businesses, one of which is an organization that she founded, Delaware Female Creatives, which I'm part of. It's amazing. And she also owns Nunery Apothecary, and I'll give you a chance to tell us all about that, as well as HMV Designs, right? Which is in the graphic design vein.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Why don't we start by you telling folks how they can reach out to you? Instagram handle, Facebook, your website, those kinds of things.
Okay, so we're literally on everything. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest. All three businesses do have websites. So the design business is hmvdesigns.com. The apothecary is nuneryapothecary.com. And then DelawareFemaleCreatives.com as well.
Girl, you are busy.
Busy
You
all
are
the time.
busy. So we're having coffee because it's early in the morning, and we're also having some muffins. So pardon me if you hear me chewing. We're also outside, so there might just be some background noise. So just giving you a heads up. I like to ask my guests on the podcast to come up with a drink. It can be a signature cocktail. It can be a mocktail. Some folks get very creative with it, where they start splashing together their own ingredients. Some choose to use an established drink. They feel that that's the drink that embodies who they are or their businesses in your case. So I want you to think about some kind of a drink that you think embodies who you are, okay? And we'll come back to it at the end of the podcast, so you'll have some time to think about it.
All right, okay.
It always makes sense to start by asking how you got into the businesses that you've gotten into, and you can give it to us in the order in which you founded them, okay?
Okay, so I guess it starts when I left Delaware. So after I graduated high school, I went to a vocational school and I graduated with a diploma and a cosmetology license. And then I was like, yeah, let me go to college too. So then I moved to Rhode Island and I went to Johnson & Wales.
Oh, I love Rhode Island.
Yes, I am a roadie. I love Rhode Island.
I never knew that.
Yes, yeah, I lived there for 4.5 years because I graduated early. And I did a whole unicorn thing. And I was like, I graduated actually after my birthday. So I was turned 21. I was like, I'm going to get a job before graduation. So I did that.
Okay.
And I got a job working remotely from a firm in Philadelphia. So I was still able to live in Rhode Island and hang out with my friends.
And what were you doing in that job?
Oh, graphic design.
Graphic design,
so
okay.
I have been a graphic designer for 11 years.
Wow.
So a hot minute. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been in the marketing space for 11 years professionally, with a degree. So while I was in college, I was I had started getting clients because my college, we would get real life clients. It was part of our graduation requirement. Mm-hmm. So I had worked with H Project Rhode Island and I did some freelance work with them while I was in school. And then I won all these Design for Good awards.
Oh, nice.
Working with nonprofits. And then I worked for the Indie Association doing freelance work for them as well in Rhode Island. So I felt I was I love these, working with nonprofits and, helping them, move to the next level design-wise and marketing-wise. It just made me feel good because, culturally, so I'm Puerto Rican, right? Mm-hmm. And we always are, we always feeding people and doing things with people. For me, it just felt part of me and who I am just felt right. Mm-hmm. When I graduated early, I got my first grown-up job. I was I want to do this for a business. So I literally talked to one of my professors. Her name was Dina. I used to say she was my mom at school. And she's you should just do it. And I was okay. I was 21 and I was I don't even know what to do. And I remember Googling how to get a business license.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was a kid.
You're
I
young.
was no clue. And then so I started doing it. I started getting freelance clients in Rhode Island. And then when I moved back to Delaware, I started getting more freelance clients. And then I was I missed the cosmetology side of my life because I had did that for 4 years in high school. And I had worked at a salon when I was in Rhode Island. So then I was I'm going to start an apothecary.
Wow.
And my now husband and boyfriend, I feel he's probably wanted to kill me. He's let's do businesses. He's and you're 20 something.
Yeah.
And I was I'm young. I didn't have kids at the time.
Right.
And I was I could totally do it. So I was why not? So then I started the apothecary. So then I did that. And then I was I felt I was missing something, a community of like-minded people, right? Because when I was in Rhode Island, we have graphic designers essentially have their own organization, and we can talk to each other about graphic design problems or even software things. And I was how can I replicate that like what I had in New England, but in Delaware, because I felt like there was a lot of groups like that, but they wanted to charge you $1,000 to be in them. And I was like, I was 21, 22. I did not have $1,000 to be a part of like a chapter of something. Then that's when I was like, I want to start Delaware Female Creatives. I was like, I wanted a community where there wasn't like a financial burden on small businesses. Cause like, I remember what it was like starting out and like being like, I have no money to buy billboards or to pay dues. Cause like we all start from ground zero. We all start from somewhere. Not everyone is fortunate to like have a giant nest egg or something like that. Some literally start from ground zero. So I was like, how do I make a group that is easily accessible to everyone and affordable? So I started out as an Instagram, and I would feature local businesses, and then I would do happy hours because that's literally what was in the budget, because my design business would fund Delaware Female Creatives.
Oh, okay.
So I'd be like, I was like in my 20s again. So I was like, I wasn't making like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, you're just starting out.
Yeah, so I was like, but I still wanted to like give back to like people like you and to people who like help support the dream. So I would do like happy hours. I think we had one at Deco. We had one at the Italian restaurant in Main Street. Like I had this vision, like I would start from the top of Delaware and work my way south, because I, for most of my career, worked in Wilmington and like Greenville area. And so I was like, it was close to work and there's a lot of professionals up there. So I would like literally meet people in meetings, and I'd be like, do you want to go to a happy hour and meet people who are like-minded business owners who like, some of us did have full-time jobs, or they did like what you did and just like started your own business, and now you're like a powerhouse, you know? So it's like we all started somewhere. We would all meet up because we were all different phases of our like business ownership. And that's how it started. And then now that was like, oh my God, 2019. So 2025. So it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
And a lot of business evolution, I guess you could say. But I wouldn't change it for the world, because like I met you and I've met so many amazing people along the way, and it's nice. Like I wouldn't trade it.
I had no idea that Delaware Female Creatives existed. So I started this business, and I've talked about this, so I won't belabor the point, but I started this business right when the pandemic was starting. And so I think it was it was probably 2 years after that. And I got an email, I think, or maybe a DM, I think from you. I think it was from you, or maybe it was from Nikki at Petite.
It was from Nikki.
Okay.
So Nikki and Ashley, who owns Honey Salon, I love them. I feel like they're so nice, and they're always like they're just amazing people.
Yeah.
They were like talking to them, because I forget how I met them. I know Ashley did my hair and makeup for my wedding.
Okay.
And she also did it for this boudoir session I did with one of her friends. So I'm saying, like, Delaware is so small. It's like weird how you meet people and they come back into your life and make magical things happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, we should do, instead of like happy hours, like do like an event. And that was the first Pretty in Pink we ever had.
Okay.
And I felt like that one was extra special because like again, I was like 20 something, and it was just like a little bit of seed money, right?
Yeah.
So everyone who in the first Pretty in Pink was a donation, and that's why it was so special, because it was like women of all industries like came together and made this event happen. And I was like, look at us go, like girl power, like we, like it was all of us, like even you, like you like had a huge part, and it was beautiful. And that's why like I know sometimes you guys get tired of me. I'm like, I'm so grateful for you guys, because like without you guys, like there would be no group, like there would be no community, because it's like the cookies crumbles make a cookie, right? Like, we're all part of the big cookie, the bigger picture. Yeah. And I feel like that's what made it special. So yeah, you're part of the first one.
Well, I mean, this network that you've created is like super helpful to business owners like me. So I appreciate you. It started with a phone. You guys were looking for some kind of a vintage phone. Yes. And one of the phones I had like a pinkish color, and it was Pretty in Pink. So I'm like, okay. I don't even know if I definitely wasn't following Delaware Female Creatives, because I didn't even know that you existed, but I may have been following Petite.
Yeah.
Perhaps. And so, I just started like looking into, Petite social, where I'm like, oh, this is in Delaware City. This is super close to where I live. And then it just kind of, in talking to you and talking to Nikki, I wound up doing a lounge, and then the phone, which was in this amazing box. I think the Party Heist, right? Didn't she make that box? The phone box?
The phone booth.
The phone booth.
I was like, this is so sick. And then
Mood Motif.
Did the floral
she did the florals.
And I was like, oh, like that's how I was like, it was just like so many like amazing people coming together. And I feel like it was pure magic. And I was like, this is so amazing. This was the whole point of the group, was like all these people to come together and like make magic happen. So it was really amazing.
I honestly think that kickstarted me following some of the female business owners that donated stuff and set things up. And then they started following me. And then from there, I just really got close with a lot of the ladies that were part of that, including you. So I appreciate that. And that was a really great event. It was cool. Yeah. And then I attended another Pretty in Pink. I know one of them I couldn't make, but one of them I did actually go to and attend because the first one I couldn't. I just dropped the stuff off and rolled. But that was like, it was really well attended. You had a caterer there and you had women selling their jewelry and whatever phenomenal things that they're making. I bought candles from you for the first time, which I want to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
So it was just a really cool opportunity. I met Ryan, DJ Lennox there, who I love.
Funny.
He's like my go-to DJ for any kind of like parties. Yeah, so it was a really cool experience to be a guest attending there. And I made some connections that, you know, I feel like we've nurtured and we've become friends even from that Pretty in Pink. So it was great. Tell me about your candle line. And I know you do more than candles. I know you do like soaps and body butter. So tell us about that.
So I started the Apothecary because my siblings, I'm the oldest of three. So both my siblings have asthma. My brother, I love him. He has really bad eczema. So when I graduated college and I was like, he's like 4 years younger than me. So he's like legit the baby.
Yeah.
I remember looking at him and I was like, and I mean this with love. I was like, Josh, like you're looking rough. Like, I was like, let me help you. So then I was like, how can I create something that's like organic and sustainable, and then when it's available, I literally will try to source from local farms in the U.S. So like my lavender comes from a farm in Sussex. My roses come from New York. Like I really try to work with local because I have like this full circle theory. Like if I can help one person, that can help another person, and it kind of just keeps on going, right? So I use all that method and I create these products. So that's how the candles came in because like I won't name names, but there's certain like larger corporations that make candles and they're using like synthetic fragrances. And like my brother would literally like couldn't breathe or like have difficulty breathing. Same with my sister. And then I was like, I did a lot of research. I was like, there has to be like a plant-based way to create these that's healthier for the environment, but also healthy for like, burn in our home with our kids, our pets, or like even family members who have like compromised immune system. So then I was like, I found soy, then there's coconut soy, then there's even sunflower wax that you can get from like Europe, which is super cool. But then since I'm Spanish, I love coconut.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, they have coconut soy. So like that's what I fell in love with. And I tested it for 2 years before I launched it because being in the design world, I'm like, everything is about testing and mocking up. I think Jesus Christ, I went through like 5 different types of candle vessels before I was like the one.
Right.
And then I started selling them to like friends and family. And then I met with one of my mom's friends and he's like, you have to be insured. So it's like learning these things as a business owner and evolving. And then I was like, okay, so once I got my insurance, I was like, I'm going to sell all over the country. So now we ship all over the country.
Wow.
Not to Europe, even though it's been asked. The VAT tax thing stresses me out. I was like, I cannot break out in a stress rash trying to figure out these taxes. So. But yeah, and that's how it started. And then it kind of just evolved into like soaps, body scrubs, because it's like, I realized that like my siblings needed things to make like life a little easier. Like my brother literally has a lotion bar in his fanny pack and I always bust his chops because he's like rubbing it on his arms and his eczema is like almost all gone.
That's great.
So it's like little things like that. And then even like the beard balm, I started making it for my husband. He's like, I really like this. You should sell this. And I'm like, okay, if you like it, then maybe
someone else will.
Yeah. I just snowballed from like helping my siblings and then now I sell it to everybody.
Yeah, the candles are amazing. They smell like you can eat them. And I like candles that smell like you can eat them.
Yeah.
And the presentation, you talked about all of the time that you took, the painstaking process of making sure that the vessels look just right, the labeling. They come, because I've actually ordered them where they come in the mail. Not just like buying them at a Pretty in Pink event, which I've done. The presentation is just, it's beautiful. And it's always like a handwritten note, which is such a special touch. So personal. It doesn't feel corporate. It feels like, wow, these candles were made with love. And there are little bits of, I don't even know, whatever candle it is that you're purchasing, if it's roses or the coconut, there's little bits of it at the top of the candle. So it just looks so fresh and new, and you can kind of see what ingredients are inside. And the wicks, I never saw a wick like that until I, purchased your candles. Instead of the traditional wick, it's, I don't know, looks like a piece of bamboo or something sticking out. It's so cool. Yeah. Just the presentation alone. I love it. So, and I could see where your design background, your graphic design background would definitely come into play. That makes sense. So I know that in addition to all of these other things that you have going on, you also have a full-time job, right?
Yeah. So during the day, I guess you could say, I am a UX multimedia designer for a local hospital in Dover and Sussex County. So that's what I do for my 40-hour work week.
Yeah.
And then in the evenings is when I focus on my business, or sometimes I take PTO to do things for other organizations, because I'm big on giving back when I can. That's why when you guys are texting me, I was I will try to make it.
Yeah.
It's hopefully I have a sitter, because I have a kid too. So you get it, you're a mom. It's juggling all these things. It's ooh. But yeah, I love what I do. I guess it makes sense because I work in healthcare.
Yeah.
I'm still giving back in some shape or form.
Right.
Yeah, I would change it.
You mentioned motherhood, and you're a wife, and so am I, and it's tough. As women feel empowered to have careers or be entrepreneurs, or in your case, do both, there's this myth that's perpetuated that, and maybe it's even perpetuated by us, that women can do it all, that we can have it all, that we can do it all. I know how I'm feeling, but I want to hear what you think about this.
So I totally agree with that. So I feel we're always because we're essentially super women, right? We can do anything, I can do whatever. Yes, to an extent, right? Because burnout is so real. And that's why sometimes I would tell people, I'm sorry, I can't do it now. For example, the Pretty in Pinks. There was one year we did 4. I was oh my God, that was overwhelming. Just one event, I'll do 500 social media posts, because I'm writing each post for each donor, each sponsor, each vendor, because I'm, want to give everyone love and give everyone that time to shine.
Yeah, and you're excellent at it. You really are.
Thank you. So it's very difficult finding that balance. So I think I always joke, I'm this is the year of no. And I don't mean no, I'm not doing it, just no, not right now. And sometimes people are oh, but I really need you. I really want you to be a part of this. I'm I would love to be a part of everything, but I'm only one person. Yeah. And I think it's finding that balance of being a wife, a mother, a daughter, a mom, and then still, wanting to wear multiple hats as an entrepreneur and give back to your community. It's finding that right balance. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard, right? Yeah. Because sometimes I'm yeah, I'm killing it. But then I'm oh my God, I have to figure out how to make it to my son's soccer practice. Yeah. And it's it's stressful. So I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, it's easy. It's not easy. It's difficult. But I think as we mature as people and business owners, and even as parents, mothers, whatever, I think we find ways to figure it out. So people joke, they're oh, you have business hours. I'm yeah, I do. And I'm you know why? I'm from every day from this time to this time, you have me. On the weekends, I'm here. I was I will support you, be there for you. I was and this time is for my family. Yep. Or people will or bust my chops. They're what are you doing? I was I am playing with my son's dinosaurs right now. I was I will talk to you during business hours. And I think that's a good way to set those boundaries. Because some people, I feel in business, we're 24/7. And yes, business is 24/7. But you also have to remember, at the end of the day, your family also depends on you. Your kids want to snuggle, or your husband's I want to watch a movie. Yeah. And it's you got to find the perfect balance. I feel it's harder, easier said than done, right? But I feel we make it happen.
Yeah. All of what you just said really resonates. And I know that you have a very supportive husband. I'm very good. I have never met your husband in person, but I'm very good at seeing through what people post on social media, right? I feel that's a skill we should all have.
Oh, yeah.
What you're seeing a lot of times is not reality. So you have to learn how to read between the lines. So, and I can tell that he's very supportive. You wouldn't be able to be doing all the things that you're doing without him. And plus, even sitting here talking to you, just you sharing your journey and how he's been supporting that, and your
yeah.
goals. So I know you have a very supportive husband, and I do as well. I mean, you've met Chris.
Yeah.
He's
He's
like,
awesome.
oh my God, I love him. He's amazing. With that said, having a supportive husband at home, it doesn't negate the fact that as a woman, you still feel like you have to figure everything out or that you have to get everything done. Like, to your point, right? You're trying to work, you're trying to take care of your kids, you're trying to run your businesses, but then there are things at home like the laundry. I mean, just something as simple as the laundry piling up, and we have husbands that would have no problem putting the laundry in, they got us. But when you see them doing it, there's something, I think that's great. Like, do the laundry, right? That's an equal opportunity job. But at the same time, I internalize that, I think, just because of the society that we've grown up in. Where it's like, I'm supposed to be doing that. And because I'm dropping the ball, now he has to pick up on that.
So I think that's so true. So I always look at, like, even before me and my husband were like married and boyfriend and girlfriend, I always told him that we're like a team, right?
Yeah.
And teams have to like pick up after each other, or I shouldn't say pick up after each other. Like where I lack, you can exceed and go back, and it's like a back and forth, right? And I feel like that's what makes us so great, because like I'm like you said, like the laundry, for example, like my husband will do the laundry.
Absolutely.
Or I'll cook dinner, and it's like, it's not a competition for us. Or like when he has things, like he had a speaking engagement at UD, and I was like, babe, go ahead, go do your thing. I support you.
I got it.
I even reshared it for him. I was like, you do you. And I'm like, I'll stay home with our son.
Yeah.
And it's like a balance, right? It's a balancing act. And like, I used to feel guilty, but I'm like, we're a team at the end of the day, just like you and your husband are a team. Like, we have to work together. I think sometimes like men and women get very competitive, and I'm like, no, like, why are you in competition with your partner? You're a team at the end of the day. If my spouse is winning, I'm winning. If I'm winning, he's winning. So that's why I was like, I would never understood when people are like, oh, I want to be like better than my husband. I'm like, what? Like, no, teamwork makes the dream work. You do not succeed if you're not working together as a team. And then when your kids see that, they're like, wow, like, that's what a healthy relationship looks like. Like, mom and dad are like both like in college, or like, when my husband was doing his master's program, I was like, when he needed help or to study, I'd be like, yeah, I got you, man. Like, you go study, and me and Max will watch SpongeBob. Like, we'll make it work.
Yeah. When I was working on my dissertation, because, I was, and again, I talk about this in every podcast, being a teacher, and I thought, I'm going to get the doctorate, and I was already teaching high school, but also college. I was adjuncting. So I'm going to move right into that world and do that. And I remember when I was working on writing my dissertation at the end of my doctoral coursework, he took the kids out so many times because they were small. I think my daughter was 2, so that puts my son at maybe 6, 7. Actually, maybe my daughter was like 3. But anyway, irrelevant. They were little.
Yeah.
So he took them out so many times. So when you're writing your dissertation for publication, you get a dedication page. And you can write whatever you want. And I remember very first part of it was written to my husband for taking the kids out so many times when I had papers due, or when I was like just entrenched in writing the dissertation, getting ready for the defense. What you said about being a team and having to pick up where the other one lacks, I have that. And I've always had that. I still fall into the trap sometimes of feeling like I should have all of this figured out and should be doing it all. So I do have to remind myself, and it's not a pressure that he's putting on me. I just think and we're inundated with what we see on social media and just, I don't know, the movies and TV. It's just hard being a woman and owning a business, because a small business, as you know, it really, it's a lot of hats, and it's a lot of time. Yeah. It takes a lot of time when you're growing something from, like what you said, from ground zero.
I feel like it's a labor of love, right?
It is. It is.
Like, I used to say, having a business is like watching a tree grow. It's so slow, but eventually it becomes something massive. So that's why when I feel like when feeling overwhelmed, I keep thinking, I'm like, this little seed, which is my business, eventually like 10, 20 years from now, I'm like, holy crap. Like, this is it. Like, it's finally happening. So like, I feel like we have to give ourselves grace from like societal pressures, and especially social media. Yeah. Because I remember like I had taken a psychology class, and there's something that they talked about with social media. And it was like this perception, right? That like you said, like reading in between the lines, like, no one's life is perfect. Like, I don't look like this all the time.
No.
And I'm like,
You're showing people what you want them to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I always tell people, I'm like, that's not real life.
No.
And it's like, and especially like, even on the marketing side, I literally stage photo shoots for people
Right.
for their products and like even whatever industry I'm in at the moment. But I'm like, it's not real. I literally have like staged things that look like fake vacations. And you know where we're at? We're in a warehouse in Philly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not real. And I always try to tell people that. I'm like, what's real is like the conversations we have, the random texts, or like we all have friends. Like I send my friends memes. I'm like, this is so funny or whatever. I'm like, that's real, not what you sitting 5 minutes scrolling on Instagram is
so
TikTok.
true.
So I'm like, I feel like we have to like take breaks from that sometimes and then realize like what we have like as people is more real than social media or this like fake world, I guess. It's almost like a universe in a sense.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me about some of your favorite graphic design projects that you've worked on.
Oh, there's so many over the years. My most recent favorite one was I work with a lot of like creative people. I guess it makes sense. So I've done a few photography businesses, but this one is like kind of special to me. So she's also a mom. And I remember I give all my clients a brief, whether it's for logos, website design, even social media onboarding. Everyone gets a brief because I want to get to know you as a person and your needs and kind of your personality, right?
Yeah.
And part of her brief, she wrote about how she had 2 daughters and they're both named after flowers. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't have daughters, but maybe someday. And I'm like, that is so stinking cute. One was name was Aster and like Daffodil or along those lines. And I was just like, oh my God, like I got all in the feels. So she's like, I want to incorporate that somehow. So I literally hand drew like these flowers for her logo. And then I had kind of like crossed them and then put like and drew a ribbon around them and signifying that like the ribbon was their mom. Like she was the ribbon, like, just, like keep like she's what brought them together because, you know, they're her children.
Sure.
And then I remember when I sent over like final flowers, she's like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And I was just like, and then I'm like, oh my God, she's making me happy. I think I like even teared up a little bit. And my husband's like, oh, you're so corny. I was like, it's not that. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like when you give someone something that is like essentially like part of them, like essence of them. And then they're like, oh my God, like you saw my vision and you brought it to like kind of like with the Pretty in Pinks, right? Every time you do an install, I feel like you always kill it. Like I'll be like, what about this? And you're like, oh, I'm gonna do something cool, and you work your magic. And then I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I was thinking. Or sometimes you even go like over the top, and I'm like, that was just so sick. And I'm like, this is like what it must feel like for everybody to like see like these visions come to life, and then seeing the person you're doing it for like just like smile or even call or text you and send you 5 heart emojis like, this is amazing. Yeah. So that was probably one of my favorites like most recently because I was like, I don't know, she made me want to tear up because she was just like wrote this long paragraph. She's so grateful and how it was amazing. And it's like, I feel like that's why I keep doing it. Yeah. So like, I don't know, it just you can tell it meant something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm all about that.
I love that. I want to talk to you about just how small of a network in terms of business, right? Especially female-owned businesses in Delaware, how small that network is. I interviewed Ashley. Yeah. And I know that you're very close with her. Yeah. And you've worked, side by side with her on a lot of the Pretty in Pink events. And this is something that we were discussing. I never realized how small this business network is and how careful you have to be about running your mouth because you never know who knows this person, who knows this person. And I said 6 degrees of separation. And Ashley said, I think it's 1 degree of separation in Delaware. I agree. You're working with so many businesses and you're kind of at the center for these events that you're running. I just want you to, as maybe some advice, what kind of advice would you give women creatives in this space navigating some of those vendor relationships? So I joke that like I'm Sweden because I feel like I always have to be the middleman because I feel like I have so many people coming to me. Like I'll get emails, I'll get text messages and they're like, I worked with blah, blah, blah. I had this experience and some are good, some are not so good. And it's how do I navigate that as a professional and also being like in the corporate sector? And I feel like I always wear my corporate hat. And I love Ashley for this because she reminds me, she's like, Heather, this is not a corporate office. She's like, this is like, not, it's like corporate, but not so corporate, right? It's very loose. But I'm always like corporate 24/7 in these situations because I'm like, if I was to take this complaint to legal, how would they react? And so she kind of brings me to earth sometimes. Yeah. So it's like, that's why I joke, I am Sweden. I'm like, for example, I recently had someone come to me and they had a bad experience with someone. And I was like, how did that happen? And they were like, I have receipts. And I'm like, I don't want to see your receipts.
Like I said,
have receipts.
Yes, I was like, I told them, I was like, I always have to remain neutral, and I was like, at the end of the day, I want everyone to succeed. There could be like 8 people doing the same thing. Like for example, in marketing, we use the bread method, right? There's about 33 different bread companies in the United States. They're selling the same product. The only difference is that they're marketing differently. You may have had a bad experience with this person, or they may have copied your idea. You know what you need to do? Market yourself differently, give a different experience. And they're like, wow, that was good advice. And I was like, I try my best, and I try to remain neutral at all times, because like I try never to show favoritism, because like one, I'm one of 3, but my grandmother has like 50 grandkids because she had 8 kids. So it's like I was competing with 49 other people.
Oh my God.
So I'm just like, I've always learned to like, I may be one of a larger group, but I always try to like be myself at the end of the day. So the advice I give is like, don't pick sides, even if someone is right or wrong, because like there's always 2 sides to a story, and there's some people act on emotion, some people are thinking logically. I don't know people's decisions, so I will give you advice and I will interpret it my way. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you, you have to do what's best for you and your business. Like I can give you advice. Let's say someone copied your idea. I could be like, you know what? I would send a cease and desist. But not one. Some people don't even have a lawyer, or some people are like, oh, copying is like flattery to an extent.
Yeah.
And so, and don't get me wrong, I've been copied so many times.
Yeah.
You know how many times Pretty in Pink has been copied? And and what makes it worse is people are sending me screenshots, and I'm just like, that's great. I was like, I hope their event succeeds and I wish them the best, because I'd rather be kind in confrontational situations, because at the end of the day, people can be like, oh, Heather was so nice about it. You know why? Because kindness will get you further. It's like, you get more honey with bees, right? I'd rather feed all the bees, like the bread market, than be like, oh, like be so closed off and sour about situations. And maybe I'm too nice. I've been told that too. But like, life is so short that I don't want to be remembered as this negative woman who is like, I'm going to side with this person, I'm going to side with that person. No, life is short. I want to treat everyone with kindness. You want to copy me? Do you? But at the end of the day, I feel like we know who did it first. Or if you want to copy someone else or talk bad about them, one, that's not very kind, and I do not like that, and I let it be known. But like that's that's how people are going to interpret you. Yeah, if I can give any advice, be kind, try to be neutral.
Yeah.
From like a personal and a legal perspective.
Yeah.
Because I also took a bunch of law classes. So for me, I'm just like, legally, I'm like, can't do that. But like, it's like, not everyone has had those like opportunities. Like you have your doctorates, right? You're like a whiz. Like you're probably thinking to yourself, like, no, you cannot do that. But like, you can't say that to everybody, because like interpretation, right? Yeah. Some people are very receptive. Some people are not. So I just honestly lead in kindness. If people do you dirty, be 2 times as nicer. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be like, wow, like I copied her idea, or I talked bad about her and she was still nice to me. Because when I die, my obituary will be like, she was nice. I know that sounds so bad, but like, life is too short to be mean and to hold grudges against other businesses. We're all doing the same thing here. Like we're all trying to like accomplish dreams and support our families. Like, like we can't be catty. Like it's not what life is about. It's about enjoying, making memories, making connections. Yeah. Focus on that instead of the hoopla, I guess you could say.
But real talk, when you're frustrated, do you go to your husband and you're like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. I do the same thing.
Poor Will. I was like, I feel like I should make him sign an NDA or something. I'm like, because
exactly.
I'm like, Will, did you see
Yes.
Because he's also in marketing, so he gets it. So I'm like, he's like, Heather, he's like, that's copyright infringement. And I was like, I know. And he's like, cease and desist. I was like, I know. He's like, are you going to do it? I said, no. Yeah. And I was like, because 1, litigation is expensive. 2, it's like, I don't want to be remembered as that person. I was like, what is my legacy? What example am I showing to my son if every time someone copies me or talks bad, I'm going to send a cease and desist, or I'm going to send my lawyer to you for a defamation lawsuit? Like, no. Like I said, life's too short, and I'm trying to show my son kindness because the world is already so chaotic. A little smidge of kindness can make the world's biggest difference to somebody.
For sure. It's also strategic.
Yes.
Right? I mean, if you just never know when you might need someone else.
Exactly.
I mean, I've literally had people, I never reach out to somebody and say, hey, like, how did you make that? I did have somebody do that to me once, reached out to me and was like, how did you build that? And I'm like, well, it's proprietary, because it was.
Yes.
We figured it out. but the way that we built it is something special, so I'm not going to share that. And she was like,
Exactly.
well, I'm all the way in. I forget where she was. It was out of state, like far. And I'm like, yeah, well, we actually travel with this item. So,
And you own the rights. It's like
you
a
know,
patent.
yeah, and
It's yours.
right. I mean, if it was something as simple as, yeah, I don't know, I'm doing a resin pour on a tabletop. Yeah, no problem. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll help somebody with that. But yeah, I mean, I never really come at somebody and say, hey, how did you build that or how did you make that? But I mean, just even reaching out maybe just to be on a podcast, I'm really interested in you and I'd love to sit down with you. Yeah, it's interesting how sometimes those people come back around and you're like, oh, hello. Like you didn't even want to talk to me or give me the time of day. And now all of a sudden you need something from me. But to your point, I'm going to be nice and I'm going to be kind because and I know what this is, and that's the satisfaction. That's all the satisfaction I need.
Exactly,
yeah.
because it's like my mom always says, like, be the bigger person,
Yeah.
especially in business.
So hard.
It is so hard, and that's why I give everyone grace when people are telling me their problems or situations or emailing me, text me, whatever preference, communication.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and I always tell them, like, I give you credit because it is not easy, especially as a business owner and a woman, to like sit there and be like, I'm going to take this disrespect and then I'm going to do a favor for you. Because it's difficult, right?
Yeah.
And mentally, I feel like it eats at you a little bit. But I like to joke that, as we get older, we get thick skin.
We do.
And it's like, I feel like right now I'm probably a crocodile. But I'm just like, I can take it at this point. I'm like, I have a bulletproof vest on. I'm like, I can take anything you throw at me now. But it's part of growing, right? Like,
it is. Yeah, and I think that's part of aging.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, how you would you spoke about reacting based on emotion. And I feel like we tend to do that. Some of us, we tend to do that more when we're younger. As you start to get older, you develop that thicker skin, and you also develop the mentality that sometimes the way that you treat people or you behave with people, that has to be a strategic, logical decision and not one based on emotion. So that's really true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you never know like what card you have to play. So
no, you don't.
Always gotta have a plan.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, for sure. If you could have like a billboard for a woman entrepreneur, she's just starting. It doesn't matter what business she's starting, anything. What would that billboard say as words of encouragement?
I think you got this.
Okay.
I know that sounds like such a cliche, but I feel like so many times, like even the beginning or the middle of being a business owner, there's like sometimes you're so exhausted, you're so tired. Like it could be a million things getting thrown out at you, like grants being pulled or running low on funding or inventory, like being late. Like I literally had ordered vessels and then my order was canceled. And they're like, we no longer are going to make this vessel anymore. And I was like, oh my God, like I've been selling this for 5 years. Like, what do you mean? Like, and you feel like you want to give up, right? Because you're exhausted and you're tired. And I feel like sometimes, and that's why I say always lead with kindness, like you just need someone to tell you, like, you got this, like, keep going, like, don't give up. Because I think it was like Ellen DeGeneres, right? She had pitched something 48 times, and the 50th time they told her yes. So that's why I say always keep going, because like that one time you hesitate and you're like, I don't want to do this. That could be your 49th time, but someone like you could come along or a complete stranger and be like, you know what? Just keep going and don't give up. And that 50th time is when you like make it or break it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think we need that. Like we need those words of encouragement. And just like people like who support you, even if you don't know them. You know how many times people are like, I'm just starting a business, and I'm like, you do you, man. Like you go, like make it happen. I was like, and if you have questions, like send me an email. Like someone literally messaged me yesterday. They're like, I want to open an event space, and I was like, there's a lot of ladies in the group who own event space. I was like, you need to reach out to them. I was like, use this community. These are resources, right? It's like a library. I think of people as books. Everyone has a wealth of knowledge. Ask them those questions, like, and like you're super nice, and there's other people just as nice as you who are willing to like, oh, like this is my Excel sheet. You know how many times I've shared my taxes Excel sheet with other business owners just because like no one ever sat down with them and is like, this is how you do your taxes, this is how you do a profit and loss sheet. I don't care. I'll share it with them. I'm like, obviously I clear my stuff out. I'm like, but I'm like, one tool to help them will just push them to the next step. So I think just saying you got this is all we need sometimes.
What do you do when you feel like you don't have this? Yeah, I don't think I've ever cried. as much as after starting this business, right? Because I went from feel like I left at the top of my game as an educator, and I was a senior, member of the staff. I had become one of the old heads, having been there 20 years. Everybody else had retired, all the old heads when I started. And so I walked away from something that I was really good at, and I was super confident, and I was considered an expert, and I was someone that folks would come to for the answers. And then I started doing this business, and, my husband, and I've talked about this, my expectations of knowing what to do and having everything figured out, it was just very erroneous on my part at the beginning. And he had to remind me that you've never done this before. Yeah, like you were an expert doing that, but you know nothing about this. So you have to to use your word, grace. You have to give yourself some grace to figure things out. So yeah, I mean, there are moments where I'm like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm done. I'm out, And then the next job you do, it's amazing or people love it. And you're like, oh, okay, this is why I'm doing it.
Exactly.
The roller coaster of business ownership, I mean, it's wild. What do you do when you have that moment where you might be crying? I mean, maybe not all of us do. Some of us do. And you're like, I don't have this.
So I won't lie. I have cried a few times.
Okay. Yeah, I don't cry all the time, just for the record. I'm not that soft.
Maybe 3 times a year.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. 3 times a year.
Every fiscal quarter.
Yeah, there you go.
Time, yeah.
There you go.
Especially during tax season. But I don't I have cried, and it's mainly because frustration, right? Because I can do all the SOPs for my business and have procedures of how things should be done, and people don't follow them. Yeah. And then when, no offense, shit hits the fan, I'm like, oh my God. We're like, why did this happen? And I'm like, well, you didn't follow the plan. This is why we have SOPs in life. Whether you're in the corporate sector or not corporate sector, there's a reason we have plans, right? So make things flow seamlessly. And don't get me wrong, some people don't care. I have written plans for things, and they're like, I'm just throw it out the window. And I'm like, oh my God. And then it's pure chaos. I like to organize chaos. I'm like, I'll be organized. So I will cry out of frustration, but then it sounds really lame. I take a deep breath, plan a vacation, and then I'm like, okay, I can do this. Okay. And that's how that's my, I guess, way of coping. I like to take a lot of trips, and that's why so Ashley's she's like, we should do something. I'm like, girl, I'm not going to be in the country. I'll be out of here. Because I need those times after I have my moment of solace, I guess you could say, that I need something to take my mind off things. So I'll tell my clients, and I'll be like, hey, I'm out the country for a week. It's not that I don't love you. I need time to recharge. Yeah. So I won't have a mental breakdown over something so minute. And
right.
They always laugh. They're like, you're always on a trip at least 3 times. I'm like, yeah, because I need a break.
Yeah.
Just like anyone, right? So I think it's okay to shed a few tears. We have to find what works for us to calm us down and ground us. Mine's just trips. So sometimes you're like, hey, Heather, can we do? I'm like, I got a trip.
Yeah.
I 3 trips a year to
good for you.
Keep me sane.
Yeah. Mine is solitude. Yeah, solitude and a glass of wine.
Oh, yeah.
I think. And I always crack up because after I have a meltdown, which again does not happen often, but when I do have a meltdown, and Chris is great, he's very supportive, rubbing my back, trying to ground me and give me reality and you're good. This happens to everybody. You're fine. The next morning, or maybe the end of the day, I'm walking around acting like nothing ever happened and it's totally normal. And sometimes I stop and I look at him. I'm like, how are you living here? How do you live your life with me? I just had this meltdown hours ago and now I'm totally fine. He's a trooper. That's rough. It's rough. Yeah. Living with someone that's running a business, going through all of those emotions and riding that roller coaster.
Oh yeah, it's I almost want to give them credit. You need a vacation.
Yeah, yeah. But also take me with you though when you go.
Yes, exactly. It's mainly for me, but you're.
Yeah, I won't be crazy on the trip. I promise.
But yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster, and I feel we gotta take it day by day. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
Just take it easy on yourself.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, you're seeing what looks like perfection. And you just have to keep reminding yourself that perception is not always reality. Tell me some of your favorite vendors to work with.
So you're one of them.
Okay, thank you.
You're always up for game. I like Ashley a lot because she's always I feel she keeps me grounded because I have these crazy ideas because I'm a designer at heart. So I'm like, let's go big. And then she's like, no. And I'm just like, damn, okay.
This is the budget and this is the size of the space.
Yeah. So I really appreciate her. So Noelle and then
Who's Noelle?
She owns Catapult. She's actually a Philly girl too.
Yeah. Like videographer, photographer?
So, I love her because she also filmed one of our first pretty things, and she came back a couple times, and then she just had a baby. She had a little girl. She's super cute.
Aww.
And like she's always like really supportive, and then like she was a good situation. Like the first Pretty in Pink she did, she ended up working with F&L Boutique. And I was like, it's so special. Like, this is the whole point of the group, to make those connections, like you said, and like become friends with these people. And
Absolutely.
So I always get like all get in my like feelings. I'm like, yay, like they're getting the whole purpose.
Yeah.
Brandon Howie, he's also a videographer for us. He's done a few events. His wife is Latoya Howie.
Social on Main. Yeah.
And they're really good friends of mine. They always support my crazy ideas. So it's like Jordan Brown Photography. I love her. She's really nice.
I feel like I follow.
Cakery Bakery, Melanie. I'm
stuffing my face. I'm interviewing her.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that.
She's so sweet. She's also a Johnson & Wales alumni.
Really?
It was so funny when I met her. She's like, I went to Johnson & Wales. Like, so did I. You know, you have that like weird kindred spirit thing going on. I was like, what campus were you? And you're from Delaware. It's like you said, like 1 degree, right? I was like, oh, holy crap. I love her. She literally has done my son's cake, my husband's cake. I'm like,
yeah, she does amazing work. Oh my gosh.
My mom literally comes just for her cupcakes as a Pretty in Pink. I'm like, are you coming to see me? And she's like, I want Melanie's cupcakes. I'm like, damn, mom. Like, you want to say hi to me? And
I'll see you after I get the cupcakes.
Literally, I'm just like, geez. Little Bloom, obviously, they always are so kind.
She's so sweet.
Oh my gosh,
and he is too. Oh my God, Rodrigo he's the goat.
They're like,
I love him.
They're like just good vibes.
Yeah,
Leah's really nice.
Yeah,
I'm just like, it's like I feel like it's so hard. I feel like I have a lot of favorites.
Yeah,
because like you guys all have supported my ideas, and I always try to pay it forward. Like, I have people who ask me and email me. I'm like, these are my like go-tos.
Yeah,
and that's why I also made the directory, because I was like, I have so many people that I just genuinely love working with, and I'm just like, go to their link and here it is. And I'm just like, because I don't know, I want to support everybody.
Right.
Because like, that's just me as a nutshell. You know how I am.
Yeah.
Like, if I can help you, I'm going to do it.
I won't ask you to name vendors you don't like working with. However, what are the characteristics of the vendors that are difficult to work with? And this might be a cautionary tale for any vendors that have some of these characteristics. So what are they?
So I had an experience with a vendor, and I was really excited to work with them because like you say, people sometimes hype these people up and then you work with them. So for reference, my brother is 4 years younger than me. So I remember this vendor was at an event that I was at, and they were talking to my brother. And you've seen my brother. He does not look like me. He has blue eyes, brown hair. And they were literally talking about other vendors that I have worked with. And then they even mentioned me. They're like, well, why does Heather work with those people? And these are people that I've known for years. And these people have never done anything wrong. And this is where like I get frustrated when people are like, oh, I'm in competition with this business. And I reference it again. I always go after the bread marketing analogy. Like, we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that is different is how you market your product and your personality that you bring to the table. So then they didn't know that was my brother. He comes back to me and we're in the car. And he's not my brother.
And he's like, I've got some tea.
He's like, Heather, can I talk to you? And I was like, what's up, Josh? And he's like, blah, blah, blah said this. And he's like, I know you know that person. And my brother is not that person. He does not gossip. Like, he's a teacher. Yeah. So like he's humble pie, like,
but he wanted to tell you,
and he was so uncomfortable. He's like, I don't know how you want to handle that. And once again, I was like, Josh, I was like, because he's younger than me, and I like to give my brother life lessons. I'm like, this is a lesson in like humility and kindness. I do not tolerate gossiping. I think it's a little tacky to me if you have to talk about another person and say bad things, or even another business. It's just very classless. Like, I feel like I said, humble pie, kindness all the time. Like, there's some things that shouldn't just be said. If you have a problem with someone, keep it to yourself, or, you know what, write it in your journal, or, you know what, talk to your husband, your wife. I don't care. Like, you shouldn't talk about other people, because it's so high school, and I'm in my 30s. I don't got time for that. I graduated high school in 2010. That's a long time ago. No time for that. So I told my brother this. I was like, you know what? I was like, let them talk. I was like, because at the end of the day, it shows the character of the individual. I was like, I do not like unkind people. I do not like people that gossip, because it's not me as a person. It's like if you ask me a question about a person, like, I'm like, yeah, they did this. Did they? Or like someone asked me, like, did that person stiff that person? I'm like, possibly. I'm like, but you should probably just go ask the actual person. I'm like, it's not my place to say. It's not my business. So I told him, I'm like, people are going to talk about you, whether you're successful or unsuccessful. I was like, you just have to like, I hate to say it, like let it go, because them doing that made me realize what kind of person they are.
Yeah.
And now I don't do business with them.
Right.
And I'm like, that's why you shouldn't do things a certain way. Like you said, like we have to be strategic.
Mm-hmm.
Gossiping about other businesses who, no offense, haven't done anything wrong to you is absolutely absurd to me. So I was just like, Josh, let's let it go. I don't know, like the universe or whatever, like hope the best for them. And that thankfully they're younger, they're in their late 20s. I'm like, maybe they'll learn from this experience.
Yeah.
And they'll hopefully, when they're our age, and they'll be like, maybe I shouldn't talk about
I love that you just said our age and included me in your 30-somethingness.
You're young. You're cool.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm not in my 30s, but I'll take it.
You look fabulous. You can be 30 today.
That's great.
But yeah, it's like, what does it gain you when you be mean? It's nothing. You bring more energy being mean to people than being kind, because it just, I don't want to do business with mean people.
And you won't recommend that person either.
Nope.
So there's that.
That sucks, because you know me, I'm so quick to be like, this person's so fabulous, or like go to that restaurant and ask for that chef. Like, I generally want to help and support everybody, but stuff like that, I just can't tolerate it. It's like, gotta cut that cord. And I'm okay with that, because I know it sounds bad. Like, I think some people are toxic. I don't do that, but that is not me, man.
Okay.
So that's the lesson. Don't be rash and say things you shouldn't say.
So what would be your top 3 business tips?
First one would be marketing, because marketing is super essential. Like, it's not just posting on social media or like just randomly sending direct mail pieces, which can be very expensive. I feel like everyone should take a principles of marketing class. I don't care if you went to college, then you go to college. Like, just take a class like at your local community college. You don't have to go to like Penn State or anything or UD. Just take one class one time and get your feet wet with like, this is what a marketing plan is. This is what a marketing strategy. So that when you do product launches or launch new things, you like there's a plan and you can like track your data and be like, this was successful, this drove revenue, or no, this did not drive revenue. And the second would be an accountant, because God knows, like, I had a lot of tough lessons where I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, I'm making money, and I did not know you had to keep like money aside for taxes. And I remember my first year, he's like, you owe this much. And I was like, what do you mean I owe this much? He's like, well, you should have kept blah, blah, aside for taxes. And I was like, no one said to do that. And I was like, holy cow, get an accountant. Or if you don't want to, take a class. I'm all big about learning and education. I'm like, if you can't afford to hire someone to do it, then learn it.
Yeah.
You may not be the best, but eventually you'll have enough revenue and income that like you can hire an accountant, or you can hire a bookkeeper or a marketer or an event planner. Like, you'll eventually, we'll get there, right? Because when you're young, you got bootstraps, right? Gotta do it from ground up.
Yeah.
And then my third one would be maybe a personal assistant. Because I have a couple of friends who are business owners, and they're starting to hire virtual assistants, and they're like, oh, Heather, you should totally try it. They're like, I got to go to my kid's soccer game, or like, you know how all our kids are graduating, but I got to like go to graduation and not have the thought in the back of my mind, like, oh my God, like I have to like send 20 emails, because you know how it is. So I got to listen to people to email. And like, I know someone who only has it for an hour a week, and she said in that 1 hour, this girl does amazing things. So like, maybe like bucket list item. That might be hard if you're starting out, now that I realize that. But like, even blocking off time for yourself to get organized. So like, Sunday is my time while my son naps. From like 1 to 3 is when I sit down. I'm like my own virtual assistant, I guess you could say. And I'm like looking at my calendar, like, I have time for this, or like I gotta do bookkeeping or meet with the accountant this day. I think that would be a good time, like setting aside to do like, I don't know, the admin work, because like we wear like 5 hats, don't we? Yeah. So you gotta remember to do that, because you can't be successful without being organized, right?
So hiring a virtual assistant or even a CPA, like you said, it costs money, but I think one of the things that I understood at the beginning of this journey for me is that you have to invest in your business. And even though it's an ouch moment when you have to make that payment, you know, to buy something that is a necessity for your business, sometimes you have to do that in order to get yourself going, get your footing, and then make money. So you have to think about it as an investment that you're going to get a return on down the road.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I talked to someone recently and they're talking about time, right? And they're like, as a business owner, like time is money, right? I feel like if I can give someone these tasks to free up my time, I always think of it in a sense of revenue. I'm like, that's 2 hours I get back in my day. I'm like you said, in 2 hours, who knows? You could start a whole new project. I could start a whole new design. It's like
you could start a whole new business the way you're going.
No. I don't think I can take any more business. It's like poor Will. He's gonna be like, oh my God, my wife's lost.
He's like, that's it. I'm drawing the line.
He's like, no more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think time is everything, and I feel like the more time I can get back, I'll take it.
Yeah. So what's next for you? I mean, long-term, short-term goals. What are we looking at here?
So long-term goals, I want to keep evolving Pretty in Pink. I think I want to keep it at 2 times a year because it's like what's about balance. It's definitely easier to balance. And I want to keep growing it and keep moving further south of Delaware because I don't want people like in Southern Delaware feel like they get left out.
Yeah.
But now we're also getting people from like Maryland, Virginia, Philadelphia who are starting to literally drive into these events.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what if we could, I don't know, bring other states in? Because like at the end of the day, we all should be supporting each other. I know that I keep saying that, but it's true. And it's like making like these resources or people like you and other people more accessible to be like mentors to other people. Eventually, I would love for Delaware Female Creatives to be a nonprofit. That's like, I feel like that's my 10-year plan. Like,
yeah.
But baby steps, right? And then you have to get a board and it's like a lot of things. And then it's just a lot. But that's why it's a long-term goal.
Right.
And then my other 2 businesses, just scaling them, honestly. Like, I would love to like hire like a younger designer and like mentor them because I like helping people. I'm like, what if I can inspire them to start their own business? That's like, I want them to be better than me, right?
Yeah.
They're the future, essentially.
They might be coming in with a fresh set of ideas.
Yes, that too. And like, I just want to nurture, like I want them to be like, throw it out there. Like, give me your craziest ideas. Let's like try to make it happen. Short term, what would my short term goal be? Continue to connect people. So like I said, my downtime's on Sundays. I get like 100 emails a week of people like, oh, who do you recommend? I want to find a way to like make it even more accessible. Like I have a directory, but some people I've learned aren't super tech savvy.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I reach that market for like the older generation, the 60 plus who like want those resources? So my short-term goal is trying to figure that out. And maybe I'm crazy developing an app that like people can use because like they're mainly on their phones. I just want to like, I guess, continue to like offer these affordable resources to people. Because like even the directory, it's only $10 a month. Like I'm not going to charge business owners like $500, $600 a month when I know that like that could make or break their day. I was like, keeping things accessible is my short-term goal to like everybody, not just the younger generation.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So I want to circle back to the question from the beginning of the podcast. Okay. You had some time to think about it. What would be a cocktail or mocktail that you feel embodies who you are as a woman in business?
So maybe I'm biased because I just came from Italy, but the Aperol Spritz has me in a chokehold because I felt like it was citrusy and refreshing. And I'm pretty sure there's like, I think there's Prosecco in there, and Aperol, a lot of ice. And for some reason, when I was
drinking club soda.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's me as a vibe because
Yeah.
I feel like I'm nice.
And you're bubbly.
Yes. And I try to be refreshing.
Yeah.
I try to give people a different way of thinking because sometimes like we get like stuck in our own thoughts and we're like, I'm not good enough. And I'm like your personal hype man. And I feel like that's what an Aperol Spritz is.
All right. So remind everyone how they can get in touch with you again.
So for Delaware Female Creatives, it's literally Delaware Female Creatives on every platform. So that's Facebook, Instagram, Threads, LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn because professionals. I share you guys all the time. And DelawareFemaleCreatives.com. And then same with HMV Designs, the HMVDesigns.com, Facebook, LinkedIn as well, Instagram, Threads, and Nunery Apothecary.com as well. Same situation, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok.
I should have asked this earlier. How many members does Delaware Female Creatives have, roughly?
I think we're shy of 4,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so slowly and surely we're getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And again, I'm very thankful and appreciative that you started that and that I'm part of it for sure.
Oh, I'm happy to have you.
Yeah.
And you're always supporting me in my crazy ideas. So I appreciate you as well.
Cool. All right. So I like to also end the podcast with toast.
Yeah.
So you're not going to hear clanking glasses because we're drinking coffee out of paper cups, but you can at least envision it. So let's drink to, like you said, scaling our businesses and really growing Delaware Female Creatives, because I think it's a wonderful thing that you started. It's a hub for not only creativity, but just professional networking and professional development too, in a sense.
Yeah.
I feel like when I attend those events, I'm always, through my conversations with people, I take something away that I can then use to hone my skills as a business owner. Yeah, for sure. So cheers to that.
All right.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.